Hello, and welcome to the first Warrior Bowl Live of 2021.
Hooray!
I found that countdown music needlessly stressful, like I was having to decide something important.
You look worried.
What did you decide?
That maybe I won't come back if you want me next Wednesday. If that music's there.
Okay, we can pick a different one for you next week, Kev. Just for you. So yes, welcome back to the first Warrior Bowl Live of 2021. Warrior Bowl is back. Football is back. We've survived the bleak period of the off season, and we're back. So joined as always by Foley.
Who's that guy in the messages already?
There he is. Look, old reliable.
Pike.
So yeah, joined as always by Foley, and we've got Kev with us again. How are we, boys?
Very good. Kev, how are you?
I feel like in the run up to this, I've seen a needless amount of your midriff. So I'm about a 5 out of 10, Foley.
It was a breast. It wasn't the midriff.
That's even worse.
There's still time. If
I had one of those diagrams to show where you've been harmed, I'd be like, it's here. I was psychologically harmed. We'll never unsee that.
Good. Everyone watching is very fortunate they missed that. So we actually, given this is the first one we've done in months, relatively seamless in terms of technical difficulties. We didn't spend the normal half an hour with Foley pissing around trying to work out how to use his giant headphones. So,
why are you saying that? Why are you saying that, man? Why are you jinxing it?
So anyway, let's crack on.
Move.
Let's crack on, shall we? So yes, as I say, Warrior Bowl is back. First Warrior Bowl Live of the season. So for anybody that has, I think it's unlikely, but anyone that's happened to stumble across this or doesn't know what Warrior Bowl is, so Warrior Bowl is back for its second year. So last year we had 240 teams taking part. And raised about £10,000, which is I think about 13,000 US dollars. So this year we're back, we're bigger and better than ever. So we've got 480 teams, so we've doubled that. And so far we're up to about £16,500, which is about $20,000. So the aim is to go a bit more, a couple more thousand that we're aiming for. So hopefully we can get to that. In the next few weeks. I think there's still some donations coming in, so that's good. But yeah, other than that, we're kind of very similar to what we were doing last year. There's been a few tweaks around the edges with the scoring and those sorts of things, but largely we're back as we were. So again, some of the other bits and pieces that are going on, obviously we'll be doing the live streams each week. There's every chance that
wives permitting,
families permitting, of course. Obviously, we've got the Warrior Bowl DFS each week, which we will mention again a little bit later. We did the first one of those last week. We've also, new for this year, we've got Warrior Bowl Skirmish, which is a best ball competition that we've run this year because we had so many people sign up that we couldn't get into the main event, as well as a couple of other side leagues and things like that we'll mention as we go along. So one thing I did want to mention right off the bat is the partners. So we've had some fantastic support from partners this year that have all donated some fantastic prizes. So we did post it on Twitter
there is a video
a little while ago.
There is a video, Greg.
There is a video also. Foley did a wonderful video. He did
brought you to tears, you said.
It did, yes. Not for the reasons you're thinking, but it did. Okay. That's true.
Okay. Tears are tears. I'll take them.
Exactly. Take what you can get, mate. Yeah. So I will run us through some of the prizes that we've got up for grabs this year, and I'll read it off this list because there's a lot. So for the overall champion out of 480 teams is going to get a signed NFL jersey. They're going to get a custom Warrior Bowl championship belt, courtesy of the guys at Viridian. They're going to get a Hotbox Batch Big Time bundle, courtesy of FOMO Big Time, official hot sauce of the Warrior Bowl. Foley is very excited to try and win that.
I want to win that more than anything else in the world I think I've ever wanted. Ooh.
We've got a lot of t-shirts going around. So we've got t-shirts from the guys at 5 Yard Rush. We've also got copies of their 2022 fantasy football playbook. We've got t-shirts from Lightning Round. So Kevin, Gary, and Andrew, the guys there. We've got Hall of Fame level subscriptions for Fantasy Pros, which is their top level. Got quite a few of those. We've got premium subscriptions. So again, the top level for Fantasy Points. We've got t-shirts from True North, Fantasy Football, and Trav and the guys there. Undroppables t-shirts, access to all areas passes to their private Discord community. We've got copies of the 2022 Ultimate Draft Kit from the Fantasy Footballers. We've got Goat District t-shirts from JD and the guys there. We've got Sleeper t-shirts, which I think are quite hard to come by at the minute because they've shut their online merch store for some reason. Apparently so. I don't know. I didn't get into it, to be honest, in terms of how they operate their business model. That's more their concern than mine.
Greg. Okay. I've got my Sleeper t-shirt, so I'm happy.
Well, yeah, you got one last year. You already sorted. I did. But and then last but not least, Bob Lung has once again been extremely generous and he's given us 40 copies of his 2022 consistency guide. So every division winner will get a copy of that. So a lot of prizes, loads of stuff up for grabs. There'll be stuff up for grabs on the side leagues that we've done as well as the best ball stuff. So loads of stuff, loads of prizes.
And glory,
of course. So that's enough of me rambling on. Let's get cracking. How did you guys get on in week 1 of Warrior Bowl?
Do you want to come to me first, or do you want to say the best till last?
Kev, let's go with Kev.
As you can see from my very smug title, I was a winner.
Well done, Kev.
Both in the fact that I had a brilliant team name and that I won. Okay.
What does it say?
It's Ayukden, which is pronounced Ayukden.
Yeah.
It's a very good team name, in fairness.
Like Street Fighter. The only issue with it is I seem to have jinxed Brandon Ayuk, who is now fat. This now seems to be having a season where he's going to continually battle against being on that questionable status. I think he only, well, as I say, I think he only got 0.2 points, but I can see it's now in front of me. So you know,
he didn't actually. Did he actually play? I don't think he played.
No, he seemed like he was a kind of diversionary trot out. I don't know.
He's got 0.35 for some reason, hasn't he?
So I think it's because he didn't do much. But you know, other than that, as you can see, I've obviously gone 0 RB here. I was trying to even go less than that. I wasn't going to take a running back at all in the draft just for the bants. I was just going to pick them up entirely from waivers and free agencies after, just to prove a point. And I feel like I've kind of proved that because, you know, Barkley, what is he? Like, you knew he was not going to break 5 points because he's just this running back that people seem to love because of like one rookie season. He might after a couple of weeks, yeah. So, you know, pretty pleased. Darnold, he's been okay. I was quite pleased that he's my second QB. And then I've got
those tight ends, Kev.
Yeah, I went strong tight end. I've got another one in the lineup for this week. I've brought Hunter Henry in, even though he wasn't amazing last week.
Really?
So yeah, he is replacing Judy, who is out.
Judy.
So,
yeah,
pretty pleased. Pretty pleased.
Are you worried about Damian Harris?
No.
Sorry. Really? In the doghouse?
No, it's like he was like a round 17 running back.
He's your RB1. Doesn't
I'll just cut him. Pick up Alex Ingold, which is the plan of already checked to see that he got 5 points this week, which is more than Barkley. So you know, nice. Don't waste your round 1 pick on a running back.
So you are saying that
you took yourself a nice. I was going to say you took yourself a nice scalp there as well, beating Marcus Mosher.
Yep. So pleased with that. I'm worried. I was very big, as you guys have seen. I was very big on Koo as a kicker this year. And I watched that Eagles game because I like to have a game on rather than red zone. And the Falcons look absolutely stinking. So I'm thinking that he might not make it past week 6 because he looks like someone who won't be making any kicks. So might be playing QB at this rate. So.
I had Koo actually. I've got Koo, and I think I'm just gonna bin him off for someone random because that's just worrying. Like you've got to score points as a team to make your kicker viable, really, haven't you? Regardless of how quality the kicker is in real life, like you've got to actually score a lot of points. It just doesn't look like they're going to do it. So I might
go on then, Foley. Gloat away.
Let me just taste your tears first. How did you feel when you saw me third on the whole leaderboard out of 509,000 people? How many is it again? A couple of thousand?
480.
480. So third out of 480. How did it make you feel, Greg?
Good. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, your voice betrays you. It's breaking. The sorrow is consuming you. Look at that team. Some people call it the third greatest draft of all Warrior Bowl time. I do. That is a good team, isn't it? Look at Tom Brady, Matt Stafford. I've got nobody on the bench. Don't worry about the rest of the QBs, but that'll do. Mixon looks like the RB1 that we hoped he would be. Kareem Hunt as an RB2, I'm quite happy with. I traded for Thielen actually just before the week. I didn't draft him. I traded for him. I traded Thielen and Drew Lock as a backup, and gave away Carr and somebody else. I can't remember. Which I'm quite happy with because Thielen's absolutely balled out, hasn't he? He looks like he's going to continue that for the rest of the year. And Antonio Brown, again, got him quite late. Quite happy with that. Kelsey, Gordon Woods. That's just a good team, isn't it?
It's like I like Adam feeling as a player in real life that he is the absolute king of fantasy garbage time, isn't he? And he always seems to get overlooked. He's like a very unpopular player.
It's like he's been 31 for 5 years.
Yeah. So.
You know what I mean?
Well, just to like bring us back down to ground, and to pick up where I left off from last year.
Look at the state of that.
Obviously, I lost. So I was absolutely killed by Rodgers, Zeke, and Derrick Henry. So my first three picks all just were terrible this week. So.
Greg, Greg, you're really good at raising money for people who need it, but you're really bad at fantasy football. I mean, you can't have both, can you?
You can't have it all, can you? You can't. No,
you can be a guy who saves lives, or you can be good at fantasy football, and you chose the right path. Well, the wrong path, but the right path.
Sacrifice my own personal glory.
Yeah. How many? Do you know under the new QB scoring what would Hinton or whatever he was called, the QB, the wide receiver who played QB for Denver, would he have outscored Rodgers in that game? Was he 1 for 8 or was he 0 for 8? I can't remember. I can't remember if he completed a pass, did he? But
you might be right, but yeah. To be fair, I went into that draft and I was like, I'm definitely not taking. I'll take at max one running back early, and I'm not taking any more. And then somehow I ended up taking Derrick Henry round 1, and then all the QBs that I wanted went. So I was like, the tight ends went. So I was like, I'm going to end up taking Zeke, aren't I? So I did. And then I got Rodgers in the 3rd round, and then like the next day he announced that he was back, and I was like, that's a steal. That's going to be great. Nope.
Have you made some trades, or are you holding fast?
Huh?
Are you made some trades, or are you going to hold fast? Are you going to stay
I've not made any trades yet. I'm not going to panic.
No, you shouldn't.
But,
all joking aside, you shouldn't, because Rodgers will be so angry next week that he'll absolutely destroy. What is it? The Lions? Is it Lions?
Yes,
Titans.
Yeah.
No, Titans. He'll absolutely destroy the Titans. Zeke will be fine against the Chargers. Henry has one bad game a year, and he's just at it. So, yeah, you'll be all right. I think it'll be fine.
I think it'll be fine. I think Rodgers will just take a while to get up to speed because apparently just going on a jolly for the entire summer and hosting quiz shows isn't the ideal preparation to start football season.
Probably the best thing that could have happened. The best thing that could have happened is to really, really annoy him and make him look like he's crap when Brady looks like he's brilliant. So,
maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But there was obviously plenty of other matchups going on. So game of the week. So this is the highest scoring matchup of the week. So this was Roto, Sully, and Will. It's Harris time. So they combined for 450.87 points.
Wow.
So 239 versus 211. So to score 211 points and lose is disappointing.
Wait a second. Is that Gerald Everett in a Superflex?
It is. I was going to say he's done that with one QB.
What a hero!
It's a good effort. It's a good effort. And he had Zeke as well that put up not very much.
Fantasy football's weird. Fantasy football.
Najee Harris only scored 8.
It's almost like it's a $1 billion industry that's entirely based on luck, that everyone has been tricked into thinking there is some kind of strategy and superstition involved in it that will help you.
Kev, there's some serious people right now listening to this thinking...
They're outside in a van.
We need to pay Kev a visit.
Doesn't like running backs. Now he's giving away the idea that it might be predominantly luck-based. I won't be here tomorrow. I'll have disappeared.
Yeah.
I will happily buy into the theory that it's all luck based, nothing to do with skill whatsoever. I'll go with that.
Makes you feel better, son. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was the game of the week. High score and matchup, the biggest blowout. So this was Eagle Dan versus Big Cat 2-8. So the margin of victory on this one was just over 130 points. So yeah, Eagle Dan doubled poor old Big Cat's score, so he took a bit of a whooping.
Though. It's not fair, is it? He's got Kittle, Jefferson. All right, maybe it's fair. All right.
Yeah, it's a big old score that he's put up there. Next
it's only
one,
it's only week one. It's only week one.
It's only week one. No need to panic. No need to panic. So narrowest victory. So this is 97 Phil B versus Carly Del Don, and Carly won by 0.12 points.
All the people who hate Ronald Jones this week, you've got to imagine Phil hates him the most. Looking at that, that is horrid. He would have been better playing Boston Scott, who the other guy who'd started, who didn't
me.
Hyatt could have played Hyatt. Well, not a running back, but he could have played Hyatt with his 0.35 that he got Kev. That'd have worked. But
Gage was just a non-factor in that.
Yeah,
game.
what's that about? What's that about? I've got Gage in a couple of places. What's going on there? I've got him on my bench.
I watched a little bit of the first drive of that game, and they just peppered Ridley with targets, and he got quite a few catches straight off the bat, and then all of a sudden they just stopped having any offense whatsoever. It was.
You watched the whole game, didn't you, Kev?
I did, yeah.
So Gage, is he a non-factor? Is he a drop? Is he?
I don't know if he's a drop. Like I said, it's one of those things. If the Falcons can work through whatever their issues they're having at the minute, it'll be fine. But yeah, they did. I saw the same sack celebration from the Eagles, what felt like 3 or 4 times, to the extent, because I was doing a bit of work as well. I kept thinking, is my stream looping? I was just like, oh no, he's literally just been sacked again. So he was just under constant pressure. So they don't look geared up for passing success at the minute. So
if they don't look like it now, it's not like it's going to get really good by this week, next week, the week after. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
it's a worry.
They're a bit of a mess, aren't they? Let's be fair.
Yeah, I mean the fact that our friend Johnny is a diehard fan, that kind of makes us all feel a little bit better about it.
Oh, I was going to say slightly enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, slightly, maybe thoroughly enjoy it.
100%.
Yeah.
And so then the last one, the Better Lucky Than Good award for this week. So the lowest winning score in Warrior Bowl. So Semtex Mex versus W Wheeler. Don't know if that's how we're pronouncing that, but 127.77. That's the lowest winning score of Warrior Bowl this week. So when poor old Will scored 211 points and lost, old Wheeler here scored 127 and managed to eke out a win. So
that is polishing it.
It's not nothing to do with luck though. It's nothing to do with luck. It's all skill.
Yeah.
So the leaderboard. So Foley mentioned this earlier. We spent quite a long time doing this week. It always takes a bit longer the first week just to pull it all together. And when I got to the end of it and saw the finished article, I thought, oh, great. Foley's in third.
Show us the face. Show us the face that you made.
I can't.
Scream.
It's not appropriate for internet distribution.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's our leaderboard. So the highest scorer so far is Garland Boys in the Bruce Lee division, who put up 257 points.
Yeah,
he put up this week. And we've actually got 2 of last year's finalists in the top 20 again. So there's you, Foley, and we've got Tin Man on there, who's at 15.
Tin Man.
So 226 points that he put up. So yeah, 2 of last year's finalists in the top 20 kicking off for this year. But again, Eagle Dan's in there, who we mentioned earlier, who had a big margin of victory, but some big names in there. Long way to go, only week 1. Hopefully Foley will be down near the 390 something or other that I'm at currently, so he'll be back down there next week hopefully a little bit.
And just so you know, obviously I'm the expert on how the playoffs work, but you can get into the playoffs on highest points scored. Let me say that in a confident way so that I think that I'm right. You can get into the playoffs with highest points scored.
You can, that's correct. Well remembered.
Well,
and we will cover the playoffs and how they work in a little bit.
Every week, yeah.
Every week, just so Foley remembers.
Yeah.
So then I mentioned earlier that this year, the first year we've actually run a best ball competition because we had way more people sign up than we had space for this year. So we put on a best ball tournament as well. So this first year we've done it. It's nearly all people that wanted to get into Warrior Bowl but didn't make it in. So they've all donated again. They've raised a load more money through that.
Well done.
And so, yeah, they're all in the best ball. So the highest scorer for the best ball tournament this week was AZ Surprise 99. He scored 249.67.
Wow.
So actually, Garland Boys in the previous, he scored more points set in his lineup than the best ball team scored, which is a pretty good effort. But yeah, we'll keep updating that, and that's the leaderboard. So for anyone that hasn't seen the standings for all the divisions, the leaderboard and the Skirmish best ball standings, they're all on the website now, and they'll be updated every week, so you can see where you stand against everybody else. You can see how everyone's getting on in their other divisions. And as the season progresses, we'll update that to show the playoff picture and things like that. So, playoffs. Foley, why don't you just give us a quick rundown on how the playoffs work?
I think if you do really well, you win or something. I don't know. I mean, it's something to do with week 14. I think, is it?
Do you want me to help?
The worst record multiplied by the 4th record. Listen, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. Take every week as it comes.
True. And again, not that we need to start worrying about that just yet because it's only week 1. But there's 2 sets of playoffs in Warrior Bowl. They work very similarly to how they worked last year. So for anyone that was in Warrior Bowl last year, it's broadly the same principle. So there's 2 sets. There's your divisional playoffs. So just as you would expect in a normal fantasy football league, 4 teams will make the playoffs in your division. It will be the team with the best record, then the team with the highest points, irrespective of their record, and then the 2 teams with the next best records will make the playoffs. They'll be head-to-head playoffs as normal, week 15 and 16, to crown a division champion. So pretty straightforward, normal sort of process. The championship playoffs is where it's a little bit different. So this is the playoffs for the entire 480 people. This year, the whole tournament is split into 4 conferences. So 40 teams will make the playoffs in every conference. Guaranteed 2 from each division. So the team with the best record and the team with the highest points. And then there'll be 20 more that come from across the conference based on best record or highest points. So then that won't be head-to-head. That will just be highest point scorers progress. So there'll be 40 per conference. The top 16 from that will progress. The top 12 from that will progress. The next round is 12. The top 3 from that will progress, and that will then leave us with 3 from each conference, so 12 in total to play off in the Warrior Bowl final. It's not as complicated as it sounds, honest, despite the fact Foley doesn't have a clue what's going on.
Kev, be honest, did you tune out completely there?
No, I was making notes in case there's a test at the end, because it did feel a bit like a maths lesson. So
yeah, I'll be honest, I've got less of an idea now than I did about 45 seconds ago. Why are you complicating it? Why not just make it like a really simple, like who the best person wins?
Ah, yeah, got you. So you can do the playoff next year. Anyway, we'll move on from that.
I can smell your anger.
We're a long way from playoff times, so we'll move on to waivers.
If Foley was in charge of the playoffs, though, week 1 would be the start of the playoffs, and it would just be a 400-team bracket. So some people would get one game. Crap! Here's that amount.
Week 1, the third place team wins the whole thing. I think. Oh, look at this!
So waivers. So we had 5 people did the unthinkable and went full fab week 1.
Actually, there's one more than that. Oh yeah, that's the guy in my league, isn't it? Daddy's home.
So Elijah Mitchell, unsurprisingly, was very popular. He went for full fab 5 times. There was a few more who went for 199, went over 100 in most leagues. Not a big surprise. He was the obvious one. But yeah, you've got Mike Fiella in your division, Foley. He went full fab. You've got
Daddy's home.
You've got yeah. That's Mike. You've got Justin Boone from the Score. He went full fab on Mitchell. So I mean, if you picked up Mitchell, you're in pretty good company in terms of the guys that are picking him up. But next biggest fab spends, so you got Heineke. He was another popular one this week. Kev Tompkins, who was Warrior Bowl finalist last year. So again, he knows what he's doing. He's blew $157 on that. Juan Johnson, that was a bit of a curveball. I don't think he went for more than about $20 in any other league. But yeah, he went for 101. Tim Patrick, $80. He was another popular one. Ingram, 71. That's the highest he went for by a distance, I think. Jermichael Hasty, 55. So they're all the people that went over $50 this week. Did you, Kev? I know last year you basically nursed your entire $200 of fab budget all the way through to the playoffs. How? What's the status of your?
Yeah, still on the full 200. I did put a bid in. With some money. I put
$4.
I put $40 in for Mitchell, and even then I was thinking, this is a lot to spend on a player I'd never heard of last week, who probably won't be playing for the 49ers in like 4 weeks' time due to the way they run their team.
Yeah,
seeing that people had spent, seeing that 5 people had went full fab. I was desperately trying to make some kind of 5-minute abs 5 league fab gag, and I couldn't quite get there because I was just thinking, who spends 200 fab in week 1 on Elijah Mitchell? So he will be the rushing champion now. But
they are the yin to your yang in terms of the
that's. So did you get anyone?
No, not a minute.
I spent a load of money on Latavius before the weekend, which I'm quite happy about now. I spent 43 fab on him, which now seems relatively cheap, actually, considering what he could be for the Ravens. But I got absolutely no one this morning. I didn't get Elijah, I didn't get Patrick, didn't get Heineke, didn't get anybody because I'm more Kev than crazy. That's a nice way. You put that on a t-shirt. More Kev than crazy.
And hopefully no one from my division is watching, because I'm going to reveal I have got a transaction in the minute for Hunter Renfro for $0. So if anyone is watching from my division and you really want Hunter Renfro, it's only going to cost you $1.
Nobody really wants Hunter Renfro.
Well, I didn't really want him, but I was looking at my team and I was thinking, I'm going to have to pick someone up. I've lost 2 guys. It's like
thrifty, Kev. I like it. I bid for Mitchell. I think I only bid about $33.
Why bother?
I think I went for Heineke as well and put a low bid on that. I think the only person I actually picked up was Mark Ingram, and I threw like $11.
Why?
I like that. He
got 26 carries.
Yeah,
He got 26 carries because they blew Jacksonville out. Do you think they're going to blow anybody else out?
Obviously.
Not a chance.
Tyrod Taylor's like the second coming of Lamar Jackson.
What you're missing as well, Foley, is they're due to play Jacksonville again at some stage. There you go. We'll be able to get another 26 then.
Week 11, he will score 15 fantasy points, and that is money well spent.
You lock those points in now, though. So
Who's going to get more touches week 2? Mark Ingram or Elijah Mitchell?
That sounds like a wasted pork pie bet.
I mean, Elijah Mitchell will probably do an awful lot more with those touches. But who do you think gets more touches week 2?
Who are the Texans playing? They're at. Who are they at?
Oh, pass. Come on, Kev. You know this stuff.
I do know this in the sense that I'm very slowly typing fixtures into my phone. I can't remember. I have not.
It's painfully slow.
You stalled long enough, man. Tell us.
I think I'm breaking up.
Don't.
No, it's not. It's not. Now I've got a text message that because I was on my phone has just not come up. So I've lost my browser tab.
Is it seamless? Seamless. That was
seamless.
Is it from?
It's from a friend of mine from work, and it's not fantasy football related.
What's it called?
It's not a boy. She's called Cheryl.
Oh,
so
Shazza. How's Shazza getting on? Is she all right?
No, she's not. She's a lot older than us, so she's done that thing where she's now sending me multiple messages that are coming through. So there's a first one. So I've still not got these fixtures up.
While you've been bombarding you, they are taking the Browns on. I've just looked that up.
They're playing the Browns, are they?
Ingram gets 0 touches against the Browns. Maybe 2. Maybe 3 if he's really lucky.
So who gets more touches then, week 2? Mitchell or Ingram?
I don't like either of them.
I'm going Ingram.
Neither.
I'm saying Ingram.
Neither.
Mitchell might well score more points, but I think Ingram will get more touches.
I think this is going to be the classic week 1 nonsense.
If I was picking up a 49er, it probably would have been Sheriff or however his name is pronounced. Who was
Sherfield?
Sherfield, is that what it is? He was the wide receiver from pre-season who looked quite good, looked like he would work himself into the rotations, and everyone was like, he's not going to do anything during the season. And then there he was. He does look a bit of a kind of a Ted Ginn from what I've seen, in the sense that he might get free receptions a game, but it looks like one of them is going to be a score. So
that's good. That's a really good comp, actually. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know the guy's actual name. I've called him Sheriff.
It's a really good comp for that. That guy's a sheriff, right? I think he's a sheriff. I don't fucking know.
People doesn't know who Elijah Mitchell is. He can't work his phone. Who is this guy?
But you've absolutely nailed the comp. How did you do that?
It's just natural skill.
Natural skill. Yeah, must be.
So Mark Ingram, week 2, outscoring Elijah Mitchell.
I'm not buying it. I don't want Ingram. I don't want Mitchell. I don't want any of them on my team. The fact that I didn't get him, kind of feeds into this. To
be fair, I picked him up. I don't want him. I've got my third best running back behind Zeke and Derrick Henry is Larry Roundtree. So having lost Gus Edwards, I felt like the $11 for Ingram was probably a reasonable shout.
So your RB3 is Ingram?
He is now, yeah.
Greg, you're not doing yourself any favours here, son.
My RB3 is
Chuba. It's probably better than Larry Roundtree.
Okay. Okay. You're not doing yourself any favours here, Greg. Come on. Come on. Let's do well in our own tournament for a change. Come on. You can do it.
Can I?
No, you can't.
To be fair, in all the other charity leagues that I'm in, which is I don't know how many, but I won in all the others, I think, apart from ours this week. So
the ones on MFL?
Yeah, basically anything on NFL I won, anything on Sleeper I lost. So NFL is now my new favourite platform.
Anything on MFL is pure luck because you've no idea what you're doing.
Not a clue how that website works. But there we go. Apparently that's part of the charm. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
Ooh, Thursday night football.
Thursday night football. Giants at the football team?
You know what I'd like? I'd like Kev to do as a Thursday night football kind of drop intro.
Dun 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 dun. I'm not sure if this is Monday. Bum 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 bum. I think it's definitely Monday. It's now coming. It's now dawning on me. I don't think I've ever watched Thursday night football. Probably for the fact that it's on a Thursday.
Just do it and see how it goes.
I just did it. Was that not it? Was I not doing that out loud?
You've got to do the announcing though. You got Thursday night football.
I don't know what it goes like.
Just make it up.
Thursday night football.
That's good.
And then he'd be like, he'd do that thing, the disingenuous thing, where he'd be like, Daniel Jones versus Tyler Heineke. And you'd be like, I wonder if anything else is on. I haven't heard who was playing in this game.
I wonder if I should be asleep.
Like, yeah.
Okay, so we've got our Thursday night football intro. It's a little bit rambling. It's a little bit weird, but we'll take it.
Indeed.
Cool.
Well,
the champ wants Heineke. That's telling you something.
Champ's got himself Heineke. So if there's an endorsement, if ever there was one, it's good enough for the champ. Go and get Heineke somewhere.
That's telling me the champ's fallen off his perch.
He's peaked. He's vulnerable. He's ripe for the taking.
You peaked too soon. Someone's going to come and get you, champ.
You feel like, though, what you've seen of Washington under Riviera, the QB will score points at fantasy. It's not a massive division. It seems to like a lot of kind of like swings and dump off passes to running backs. So I don't hate Heineke. What I've seen, I've only seen like what he came in for in relief and then the playoff game, but he's not a guy that you look at and you're like, this guy's a complete nobody. So
yeah, I'm kind of.
There's an endorsement.
I know, yeah.
This guy's not a nobody. Calm down, Kev. You're getting carried away there.
Tell us what you really think, Kev.
So anyway, Thursday night football. What are our thoughts? Who are you interested in from a fantasy perspective? What do you think the result is going to be?
It's weird because compared to last Thursday night when you wanted everybody, I want virtually nobody. I genuinely had to think about this before, and I think I want Gibson. I do. I want Gibson because I think he'll have a bit of a game. You know, he looks like he's got all the work in the backfield. He's taken over completely the passing role from McKissick, who had like one pass or one target or something. So he's basically got the third down on. He's got the full workhorse role. I want Gibson all day long. And I was genuinely trying to convince myself to take somebody else in the game, and I couldn't. You can make a bit of an argument for other people, but you're really struggling, I think. I don't want McLaurin because he's going to see a lot of Bradbury and he's catching passes from Heineke, who I don't really trust because we've seen it for a very short period of time in relief of somebody else. So I don't really trust Heineke that well because I think the Giants' D has actually improved this year. I think they're actually pretty good. So I don't really want Heineke. I don't want any of the pass catchers. And on the Giants side of the ball, I've got Saquon in our home league. We were drafted in the first round, which makes me feel really silly now because I sat him last week and was happy that I sat him. I'm sitting him this week, and I'm happy that I'm sitting him, but he's my first-round pick. But I'm not going to play him this week, and I don't trust Daniel Jones because he's nuts. And because he's nuts, I don't trust any of his pass catchers. So I want to play Gibson, and that's about it, which feels a bit of a shame, really, because last Thursday night it was like, everybody, and points everywhere. And hopefully I'm wrong, but I'm playing Gibson. That's about it, I think.
Kev?
I've got Terry McLaurin because I'm a huge fanboy of his. In his catch, he made that twisting over the shoulder catch that he then caught close to his body was absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. But I took him on the basis that, like I said, it was a fanboy of what is him anyway. But I took him higher than he was projected to go, purely on the hope that I was hoping he was going to be getting gunslinger amounts of work thrown into him, and I don't know if that's going to happen now. So this has got one of those games where, as an English fan, you wake up Friday morning and you look and you see it was 15-12 all field goals, and you think, I'm not even going to watch the 6-minute highlights of that. I'm just going to check some stats, move on with my life.
It feels like the easy analysis, doesn't it, to say it's going to be 13-10. And it's going to be an absolute kind of divisional grind of defense against defense. It feels like the easy analysis, but it just feels like it's going to be.
You've got two good defenses, two offenses that aren't the greatest. I think it's going to be difficult to bench Saquon if you got him, if you invested that much in him, depending on what else you've got. If you've got somebody else, great. But a lot of people are going to end up playing him regardless. I think I would still in Shepherd. I would consider as a flex option. He's going to get peppered with targets. It looks like he's actually fit now, which is good. So I think he'll be a good option. And they gave up quite a lot of points to wide receivers last week, and I think Logan Thomas as well is the other guy that I would be happy to go with. Giants gave up points against tight ends.
Humphreys in a pinch. In a pinch. No, Samuel's not back. Samuel's on IR, right?
Yeah, he's not back yet.
Yeah, so he won't be eligible to return. So
so he's out for Humphreys in a pinch. Maybe those underneath throws. Maybe. Well, I suppose that's Shepherd's place, isn't it? The champ's review there. He's saying Logan Thomas. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, thinking about it,
he gave up a lot of points to tight end last week, so I think Thomas will be a good Thomas and Shepherd. I think I'd feel comfortable starting.
Doesn't fill you with joy though, does it?
Who are the, surprisingly, Evan Ingram's out, isn't he? So who's tight end?
He is. So it's not going to be pretty. I don't think it's not going to be pretty for the Giants. It's not going to be pretty again. But I think that's going to be the story for the season, unfortunately. But there we go. So who's going to win ultimately out of this?
People who don't
festival
tune in.
Of festival.
That's because we'll be asleep probably.
People who take up a hobby instead.
Come on, Kev. Who's going to win?
I'm going football team.
Football team. Foley?
Yeah, I'll take them 13-10, I think. I think it's going to be one of them games.
I probably mentioned this before on the show, but I have a kind of second fan amount of love for Washington because as a kid, I used to get a lot of Redskins stuff as it was then because my mum would be like, oh, Kev likes football. Who is the team he likes? So if he begins with an R, it must be these. So she was forever buying me stuff. Redskins rather than Raiders.
You're the Raiders.
It's just like it was very hard to be like, it's not even the right division. It's like, thanks, Mum.
It's not even the right side of the country, the continent.
Like, I was just saying I wanted a Gus Farrar Redskins jersey. I'll put it with me Champ Bailey one that you for some reason got me last year, or they might have been the other way around. But whenever those guys were there, that is
a very UK American football fan problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sport.
Of course, I'll wear this Chargers shirt. I'll wear it all the time. Like.
Yeah, I'll go just to break from the clean sweep and go for the homer pick, and I'll say the Giants managed to somehow
you were going to say
eke out a win. No, not that bad. Not that bad. So they'll a little cheeky screen to Saquon, and he'll run away and get a winning touchdown.
Greg, do you feel miserable being a Giants fan?
A large amount of the time, yeah.
Because it's not getting better, is it?
I mean, that said, though. Have won 2 Super Bowls in the time that I've supported them, so there's not many people that can say that.
I mean, clearly from looking at you, you're in your late 40s, 50s. So we're not talking ancient history here. So
I have a different perspective on this from the sense that, like, recently I've seen like a few Broncos fans saying, "Oh yeah, we've had a few. It's been a tough couple of years," and it's like, look. I don't like to play misery top trumps, but if you continue to be like a bottom line team for the next 17 years, then I will care about your opinion. But like when your team is like the thing that really impresses me about the Raiders, and I know they had a good week this week, but when they're on and they're stinking, there's always new stats that they're breaking. Oh, this is the worst streak.
Yeah.
This is the longest the team's gone without a sack. And I was thinking, surely there is none of these left. Surely there is no worse record left that we haven't already got near. So it's just like
you're on the up. You got a new stadium. You got a sexy new stadium. Looks good. I really want to go to that stadium. I think that would be an ace game to see live.
You're definitely coming away from there with like a hangover, if not coronavirus, though, aren't you? From the looks of it. So
yeah.
So this is a new thing for this year. this is Foley's brainchild, and I'll let Foley explain it because I'm not entirely sure I even really understand what it is. So Foley, have at it.
Neither am I, Greg. So I'll put that out there. I'll put that out there straight away. I probably understand it to the same extent you do, but essentially, pork pies are the greatest snack in certainly the UK when you pair them with mustard and pickle, English mustard and a pickle.
Brown sauce.
No. Kev.
Yeah, not for the brown sauce.
That's, Greg, can we just not invite Kev back? You've got English mustard and a pickle. So the idea of the pork pie playoffs is that each week, one of either myself or Greg will spring a line on the other. We've put this one on previously to this happening so that we can get it all organised. But as of next week, it'll be a case of springing a line on the other person. I'm going to put a line out there that I think is a little bit kind of out there in order to make you take the over or the under. But it is up to you whether you want to take the over or the under. And whoever wins the pork pie playoffs at the end of the year gets a massive gourmet pork pie from the other person, delivered by hand in an outfit of the winner's choice, which I've just added at this point, which is why Greg is so worried. So, but now it's official. Now it's official because it's on Twitter. So yeah, the line that I've put on for this week, this is my line, is that Tom Brady will be outside of the top 10 fantasy QBs. So, Greg, you need to decide whether you want to take the over or the under on that.
I am going to say he will definitely be in the top 10.
All right, baby. All right.
He was 8th last week.
He was. And he was at... now you said it. Go on. No, go on.
I said he was 8th last week. He's playing Atlanta this week, who got smoked by Jalen Hurts. And also, I think, given the scoring format, because I'm assuming this is off Warrior Bowl scoring.
Yeah.
So, given the scoring and the high penalties for turnovers, I know he did throw 2 last week, but he generally doesn't throw a lot. So I think that will keep him near the top, even if he doesn't go bananas like he did last week.
Yeah.
So I say yes, he will be in the top 10.
It'll be outside. So I think he'll be 11 plus. Reason being is that last week he had to go nuts. This week he doesn't. And I do think when it comes to Arians and when it comes to Brady, they do what they need to win. They don't do it for points. They don't do it for fantasy scores. So I've got a funny feeling, and I hate to say this, that Rojo will have a big game. Fournette will have a big game. They'll ground and pound it because you can run all day on the Falcons. You just walk through them. You don't need to run through them. You just walk through them. So I think they'll get up early. They'll do what they need to do to win. And Brady will be efficient, and he'll be QB 12. And I can already taste the meat of that pie.
Kev, your view, you can represent the guests column.
I think I'd like to lose this because I don't know if I want Foley knowing where I live.
Fair.
I think that he will be in the top 10 QBs. I think, contrary to the Fournette and Jones, I think this is going to be the Gio Bernard week, and then next week will be someone else, and then someone else, and then Elijah Mitchell when he's at the Buccaneers in week 7 after he's been cut. And I think they've just got that infuriating New England feel about them that you're never going to pick the right running back in the right week. Yeah. So I'm going. Tom Brady will be top 10. So
there we go. Right. So we'll see how we get in next week. So last little bit. DFS. So as I said, Warrior Bowl DFS was back for last week. So the winners were Dom Clee was the overall winner. He took himself $25, and Jesse Schuster, Jack's commish of Hammercast. He got himself runner-up and $10. More importantly than that, though,
what's this 1-0?
Foley this week.
No.
I was 6th. You were 9th. That's
not
1-0.
Thing. That's not a thing.
The thing last year.
It's on the graphics, so it looks like it's a thing, Foley.
Exactly. It's
right
on there. I was 6th. You were 9th. Therefore, I beat you.
Nonsense.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. That's the way it works. Right, that's maths.
Listen, I'm just here for the pies. So crack on.
But I have neglected to write down what the top score was from last week, because whoever gets the highest weekly score across the whole season will get themselves a prize from the list of prizes we mentioned earlier and an automatic invite back for Warrior Bowl 2022. So if Foley is feeling useful and could look up the DFS highest score while we're talking,
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
You've gone knee deep on the books, haven't you?
I have. I've got a bit carried away. So Brady better be in the top 10, otherwise I'm going to be screwed.
Yeah.
So my team this week. So I've gone Brady at Atlanta, as we've already talked about. Chase Edmonds and Melvin Gordon, running backs. Then Antonio Brown, again, I'd like him to have another good game again against Atlanta, who are rubbish. Higgins, again, got another good matchup this week. The Bears looked shocking last week, so I think he'll do well again. Mike Williams, again, they're probably going to have to throw it about. Dallas defense isn't great, but their offense will going to put up points, so they're going to have to chuck it. So he might pick up a good amount of points. Gronk, see the previous comments regards Brady and terrible Atlanta. Keenan Allen, although I've actually literally only just realised that I've got two players from the Chargers in, so that's solid.
Yeah.
Good. Glad I paid attention while I was doing that. And then Bengals against the Bears, because again, the Bears looked terrible last week and they were cheap, so that's why they're in there. So yeah, that's my lineup.
You got 3 books and 2 Chargers.
They're going to be high scoring games, aren't they? The Dallas and the Chargers game is going to be a high scoring game, and Tampa should just run all over Atlanta. So yeah, to be fair, I hadn't clocked that I put Williams and Keenan Allen.
Okay, well let's just call this 1-1, and we can crack on, I suppose.
Go on then, talk us through your Teddy Bridgewater inspired lineup.
I've heard Teddy being tipped quite strongly in DFS this week, actually, and I really like that take because the Jags look so bad and Teddy's really efficient, so he's just going to score a lot of points. And I've got the stack there with Sutton because I think that stack's going to be absolutely money now, especially with Judy out. It's just basically Sutton with Fant and a few other people supporting him and Patrick maybe, but Sutton's his number one. Sutton looked good last week as well, actually. He didn't look injured, did he? He looked like he was really back to form. So I really like that stack. Edmonds, me and you have both got him because we both see that he's gonna run all over Arizona. Well, just Kyler's that good. He's going to add value to any of his running backs, especially the ones who catch passes. Zeke is going to have his bounce back week. I think I've got Evans there, and you've got Brown, and you've got Gronk. I'm spinning the wheel because I think the Tampa pass catcher is a wheel. You spin it, and it lands on somebody, and they go off. And next week it's going to be Evans. I'm trying to trade 100%. For him. I'm trying to trade for him in Warrior Bowl, and no, they're not having it at all because they're probably. Think the way I think.
I 100% agree, and I nearly took Evans, but I just thought I'll just take the cheapest one of the 3.
Yeah, it makes sense because it could easily be Brown. I mean, I've got Brown in Warrior Bowl already, so I hope it stays that way, and it could easily be Brown. He could have the biggest game. It could be Godwin, could be Evans. It's going to be one of the 3, isn't it? But you spin the wheel and it lands on one of them, and I've chosen Evans there because I think he's going to have that touchdown game, and he'll catch 3. He'll catch the touchdowns that Gronk caught last week. For me, that's the way I see it going. Metcalf, because he's awesome, and it's the Titans, and they're terrible. Cook got surprised. What did he get? 7-8 targets or something? Or 7-8 catches even? I think he got a surprising amount of usage, actually, last week. And it's against Dallas. And Dallas, as you said, is going to be a bit of a point-scoring game. So I really like that. You can't argue with Chubb against Houston because I could probably walk through Houston. And that's going to be good. The interesting one there, I mean, Raiders were cheap, hence why I took him. But I've got Big Ben in a couple of dynasty leagues that I need to win, so I'm hoping that he actually does all right. But from what I saw last week, I really don't have any faith in Big Ben. He looked. I know it was a bit of a defensive affair against the Bills, and it was defense against defense, so it wasn't supposed to look good. But at the same time, he didn't look like he could throw more than 5 meters. He looked awful. And the reason that the Raiders D actually looked pretty good against Lamar, right? And Lamar can run. I know their O-line wasn't very good, but he can run. But if they get past the Steelers O-line, it's not like Big Ben's going to dodge and move, is it? He's just going to get absolutely felled. So I can see the Raiders D, Kev, it's looking good. It's looking like you've actually got a D.
It's Max Crosby looked awesome in that game, even when Ngakoue went out with his hamstring. Gerald McCoy's obviously missing now, but they didn't even have Farrell playing, who could move inside, and then they picked someone else up. I think the coverage looked better, pass rush looked good, and Lamar, it's just like Lamar's like Lamarness, isn't it? I don't know what else to describe it as. He's just phenomenal. So
if you take, I mean, Big Ben can't throw downfield and he can't run. So you take those two things out of a defensive scheme having to worry about, they're going to go after him, aren't they?
It'll be, the issue I think you'll face is it'll be a better test of can Raiders actually cover anyone, because Sammy Watkins was getting annoyingly open at time, and we would be like fifth on the Steelers depth chart for pass catchers. So
it's just whether they can get the pressure on him before he gets a chance to launch it 3 meters. I think that's the that's the thing. So I'm quite happy with that. I think that's a real bargain. I think Raiders.
Which one you liking, Kev?
Well, this is an easy one for me because I feel like I'm the only person in the internet who doesn't like Teddy Bridgewater, and I know some of this is petty and vindictive of when he was at the Vikings.
No,
but when people talking about the great week he had, he was 28 of 36 for 264 yards and 2 touchdowns, playing against a not great team. And it's like, oh, Teddy Bridgewater, he's so nice. He had a bad knee. It's like, mate, I've had 2 bad knees. I don't see anyone rooting for me in life, though.
I've never seen you angry enough to do research, Ken.
You say research. I knew that I've been arguing with Bridgewater fans all week. So
that's what Sheila or whatever her name was texting you about earlier.
Yeah, texting me back. It's like, what do you mean Bridgewater was as good as Carr? Carr had 448 yards, for Christ's sake. He's he's already doubled that schmuck.
So you'd go with my team then this week.
Right.
Good choice.
You're crazy.
Good choice.
It's not only have you got Teddy Bridgewater on, but Sunshine's got Brady. It's nice to have someone the same age as you when you're doing things. So
that is true.
Relatable. Look at this guy. Wonder what he puts on his grey. So
he looks good, doesn't he?
He looks very good. Yeah.
True. It's true. So that is about us for the first Warrior Bowl live of 2021.
Well done.
Anything from you, Foley? You've normally got some pearl of wisdom come the end of the stream.
Oh yeah, you just have a random question, don't I?
Well prepared as ever.
I did not plan this. What's the maximum amount of fish fingers you think you could eat in one sitting? Sorry, you asked now, aren't you?
Well,
yeah, generally.
I could.
All right, give me a number. Give me a number.
If hungry,
be honest.
Could easily just eat 8 between 4 bits of bread. So that's just like I'm going to have dinner.
Get rid of the bread.
Get rid of the bread. Talking a chat. I reckon at least 24 because there's not much in them.
24. That's a good number, actually.
No, the thing I'm thinking about is I'd normally have ketchup on them, and I'm worried about using that to fill up. But then
you're allowed sauce.
If I don't have sauce, is the dryness going to become?
You're allowed sauce. I'm going to let you have sauce.
I mean, ketchup's not going to take up that much space, is it?
A little sliver on the top. I'm going with 24. I reckon I could do 24.
See, you think 24, and you think 24 is a big number. You probably get to 16, 17. You probably think
this is tough.
Yeah. I think you'd really struggle. I think you get to 22 and you'd be like, do you know what, lads?
I'd get to 22 and then someone would shout, oh, I bet Teddy Bridgewater could do 20 more than this. Yeah, I'd be like 20. I'll show him. That universally beloved nice guy.
Greg?
I don't know, but I feel like I need to say more than Kev just out of principle because Kev's just like this skinny guy and I'm not.
So, I was made for this.
I feel just like on sheer mass, I should be able to eat a lot more than Kev. So, how many do you get in the box? Like 10?
No, we get the big boxes.
Yeah,
we don't mess about. We get 24
in the
box.
You get 50 in a bag of the Youngs from Iceland
you
Warehouse.
Can. I've heard about this. I'm interested.
That's why
So
I went
next-
in with a serious number. I'm a serious
Let's go
buyer
for a
of
50.
fingers.
I'm going to throw a 50 bag. then.
You
Let's go for a
wouldn't do
50 bag.
50. You can't just throw 50 out like you're a G.
How long have I got? How long have I got?
Listen, Captain Birdseye, wind it in. You ain't doing 50. Not a chance.
How long have I got?
Oh, you can take as long as you like.
In how long?
Within 24 hours.
I believe in
Oh,
it. I think
easily.
you can do it. He'd be chowing food.
No.
24 hours?
Wait, no, because we're gonna have to do this on the live stream next week. So let's say an hour.
48.
I might be pushing it. Yeah.
48. Go on, Kev.
Be chewing.
So-
What about you then?
Take that, vegetarians and sustainable fishing industries.
Let's find out next week. Throughout the live stream next week, we need to be eating fish fingers and see who wins.
That's gonna be like the worst live stream ever.
Or the best.
How many are you gonna eat?
He'd be too busy counting us. So
No, let me have a think. What could I eat?
He's gonna say like 4 or something ridiculous.
No. I can eat fish fingers. Don't worry about that. I reckon I'd probably get to.
There's a claim to fame.
I reckon if I was really hungry and I prepared myself properly and we got to this live stream, I reckon I'd get. I reckon I'd get to 30 and I'd feel really, really, really bad. But I'd kind of feel good.
Well, there we go.
Okay.
maybe we shouldn't have brought the
Good.
random further question back this year.
Yeah, we should have just let that die out with last year. Sorry, guys.
You're the one who brought it back, not me.
Yeah, I know. To be honest, I was a little bit dumbstruck when you didn't come up, just chime in like you normally do with something.
Oh.
So
Let me. I'll do some. What people call it research. I think I'll do some of that.
prep.
Yeah. Let's try that. For a
Yeah.
change.
Who knows? Might catch on. Anyway, on that note, thank you very much, guys. Thank you everyone that's watched, that's joined us for the first one back. Probably a little bit clunky, probably a little bit rusty. Hopefully, might be a little bit better next week. Hopefully, Foley might have actually remembered that we're doing something and prepared.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next week. Good luck this week in Warrior Bowl and other leagues, and we will see you then.
I'm going to do a fish finger eating celebration. Go for the fork and knife and fork. Classy.